Hey traders, in this video, we're going to break down exactly how I use one of my favorite technical trading tools, the Anchored Volume Weighted Average Price Indicator, or Anchored VWAP for short, in order to catch huge market reversals. That reversal that I was able to catch yesterday is currently good for almost $17,000 in gains. That position is up over $3,000 today alone, and there could still be a little bit more to go. Let's hop over to the charts now and break down exactly how I use this tool to catch these kinds of trades. So the way the Anchored VWAP works is that you have to drop it onto a specific point on the chart. Now you can pick a swing high or a swing low, or you can do what I did yesterday, which is pick a point in time from where I want to drop that Anchored VWAP. So yesterday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, we had a scheduled news release. We were getting GDP quarter-over-quarter readings. So what I did was I dropped the Anchored VWAP right at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and as the market sold off, the Anchored VWAP, which is the orange moving average on the chart, showed me very clearly the average price that the market has paid since 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. So what this means is that shorts, anyone who has short the market in anticipation of that news event or since the news event, was very happy with their positions. So long as price actually stays below the Anchored VWAP, all those shorts are in profit. And anyone who bought the market is actually underwater. So what do you notice between the sell-off that we saw here on the left-hand side of the chart and the market recovery? Well, what we can immediately see is that during the sell-off, we spent almost all our time below the Anchored VWAP. However, once the market started to recover, we can see that we broke above the Anchored VWAP right around 10:20 a.m. Eastern time. And then the market just hasn't looked back, just went ripping higher. And that's how you're able to start banking big gains by not necessarily anticipating big moves, but by looking for important event triggers that could then lead to a big move in the market. Now, when I came into yesterday's trading session, I wasn't necessarily outright bullish. I knew we had that news event at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and I wanted to see how the market was going to react. And actually, as I was live streaming my trades, we did catch a piece of the action on that move down. Ended the live stream, and before I signed off, I said, if we want to buy the market has a lot of work to do. It has to get above a lot of key levels. And that was definitely true. But breaking above that Anchored VWAP was a huge tell for me. What that meant, at minimum, is that the smart money that was short on the way down started to take profits, and they were no longer interested in defending the Anchored VWAP. Okay, now this is the very important point about how to use this indicator effectively. You want to think of Anchored VWAP as an institutional line in the sand. All right, it's going to take a lot of firepower to drive the market this far down in such a short amount of time. That tells me that there are larger institutional players taking part in that short trading activity. Now, what this also tells me is that if institutions want to be in profit on their shorts, they have to be short. Their price has to remain below the Anchored VWAP. Because if price is above the Anchored VWAP, these shorts are underwater and the institutions aren't happy. Okay, so we can see here, price had a messy pullback into that Anchored VWAP, and then institutions came in and sold the heck out of the market. All right, the very next candle dropped quite a few points in just 1 minute. I mean, that is a big move for a 1 minute candle. All right, I mean, we dropped 18.5 points in 1 minute, and you can see that this one candle took out all the candles preceding it. So in one candle, bears clearly established who's in control of price, right? And we saw the market sell off as a result. Once the sell-off was over, the big question on my mind was, are bears going to try and defend the Anchored VWAP? So we can see some bears tried to step in here, but there just weren't enough sellers to keep prices below the Anchored VWAP. And once we established and consolidated over the Anchored VWAP before breaking out to the upside, that was the green light telling me that the market is likely due for a reversal. So for this particular trade, I used options to structure a long position and was able to take advantage, of that larger move to the upside.